this is me, Ruowen Huang. Before I begin, let me first introduce myself. My name is Ruowen Huang. I'm an author, spirit coach, and also a psychic. This is my new experiment, so I'm gonna give it a try. There's a reason for it. I literally just leave my Clubhouse open. But open or not, this is basically gonna be my one-man show. The reason of that is, among my friends and family, I often heard people talk about, you never talk about like in English. You never share those information in English, or you never discussing English, which I really don't understand. For many of you who follow me for years, you must have known by now, like I have done everything bilingual for the longest time. So if I have every episode in Chinese and I have it in English as well. The only thing I did not do in English is basically chatting, which I chat all the time. For majority of you knows, I chat nonstop. I can literally open a room by myself, which I am right now, and then stare at my own picture and talk to myself for hours. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So this is my very first try. This is my first tryout. I'm just gonna share or chat like I do in Chinese, in English. And I choose to this time where I know everybody sleep, which you should go to bed. I'm gonna try to do it this time as my first experiment of talk table. But as you must can see, it would be me talking most of the time, just like I did when I was on the Facebook Live or YouTube Live. So in this very particular episode, I also want to share with my family. This is probably the first time for my family to realize, Mom, how can you talk by yourself for an hour? Honey, this is where I'm going to show you how your mom can really talk even when nobody's talking to her. Okay? So anyway, in this very particular episode, I want to talk about awakening. I mean, in Chinese and English, you guys will hear me talk about this all the time. I share about we are entering the era of awakening, or we are entering this new era or something. I mean, many of people who used to the way they were raised before, they got very comfortable with that. To knowing something's gonna change, to know like something new is happening. I mean, to be fair, most of us would be scared and most of us would not know what to do. So, to knowing entering the era of awakening, and then if many of you would like to know how long is the era of awakening, it usually lasts about 12 years. So it starts with the first year. So first year, we all experience is a pandemic, which I'm going to come back and talk about why there's a pandemic. But let's talk about awakening. So exactly what is awakening? I mean, now, just about every platform you're going to, you will see this word pop up everywhere. You will see people talking about awakening. I'm more awakened now. I feel it now. It seems to give people an idea, so-called awakening, meaning they're going to become somewhat spiritual, and then we all know through the years of brainwashing, we thought spiritual somehow have that cult feeling to it, like it's like a cult, and then don't go there. It's like you are being possessed by demon, or you are going to be brainwashed by some evil religion or something like that. It is not so. I mean, the reality is we all have soul in us. If many of you think you have no soul, I mean, congratulations. I don't know what other thing can I say, but congratulations to you. But I would say, for majority of us, you must know soul, body, mind. Soul, body, mind is a common word we hear all the time, right? So if in your common knowledge, you have a little bit idea there is a soul in you. Now let's talk about awakening. Awakening is not only that your soul dying to be awake, it's basically everything else is going to awake. Your senses is going to be awakened. Your feeling is going to be awakened. Your soul got brought up and start to have the sense what it is that you want to what it is that you want to do. Why am I here? Who am I? What am I doing? Where am I going to go? Like, where's my goal? You will start to realize all those questions start surfacing. And there's a good reason for it. It is because we are entering a era of awakening. We are entering this new era. Like, all your senses had to be awakened. So that is what I believe is awakening for. So it's not particularly for your soul. You will realize the people who got very good taste bud all of a sudden become more sensitive of it. People who is very who is the empath all of a sudden become very sensitive, even more sensitive about it. Or people who can sense things, or they got gut feeling, or they have their sixth sense, or they have their instinct, all of a sudden they become very aware of it. So those are all signs and symptoms that we are entering the new era of awakening. Of course, disregard if you are under 20, my best bet is if you're under 12 years old, or the new era of kids, you will realize they seem to born with a sense that we simply do not understand. So those are all signs to show to you that we are entering the new era. As many of you will see, especially many parents who have come to me over the years of consultation, they will share with me saying like, oh, my kid becomes so sensitive, they seems to see things that I do not see, or they seem to talk to someone that I do not see who they're talking to. There's also a reason for that, because we are entering the new era. So for many of you who are curious, okay, great, everybody's awakened. It seems like prior to that, I'm sleeping. You kind of, you are kind of sleeping. And the reason of that is your mind is so fixated by certain thing. By either you have to do certain job to mean success, you have to make certain amount of money to mean you are good enough, or etc. You're so fixated by the idea, which honestly is no difference from you are sleeping. It's like when our mind is so fixated by something. So those are mindset that you actually have to train yourself to get out of it, because you are entering in a time like people start to be more aware. Come on. Even if your kids is 15 or 20 years old, you start to realize they become more aware, they become more connected. They start to see it's not just them, it's everything else. It's about the food they eat, it's about the clothes they wear, it's about this globe, like this earth that they're living in, it's about everything else. And those are all signs to present to you that we are entering the new era. So if your mindset is still living in that old mindset, just go with one way and stick with one pattern. Just, go get a good diploma and make sure you make good money, make sure you go into the big company and do that. You start to realize it no longer work. Even it reflect on your school is one way of teaching, which in old time industrial way of teaching, assuming all human are one kind, assuming everybody else is one kind, you also realize it no longer satisfy the young children. They want to know more. They are interested in everything else, and then they want everything to be their teacher. They start digging in. They want to find something, the source of learning. Those are all signs of we are entering the new era of awakening. So basically what I'm sharing with you is we are entering the era where you will start seeing weakness, and you will start witness how everybody's senses, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just spiritual senses, it's about every senses. It start to be awakening, start to become more sensitive, if that's a better word for you guys to understand. You will become more sensitive to things, you become more sensitive to the feeling, you're more sensitive to taste, you're more aware of the food that you bring into your body or the things that you use. So those are all signs when we are entering this whole awakening era. So that's also exactly why it doesn't matter if it's Chinese community or the Western community. You start seeing this word popping up everywhere and explaining, are you awakened yet? Or, what's your sign? What's your symptom when you are awakening? But, what I really try to share with you all is it is not a code. It is going to be a natural pattern of things, because we are entering this this new era where information is everywhere, and there's a good reason for that. I understand in my generation, a lot of parents will complain is, information overload is too much information, it's gonna polluting their mind. But what's up with that is with information overload, people get tired of it. People also get tired of, it's too much. I seeing the same pattern all the time. So I want to start make decision for myself. So understand, before you want to get better, you always have to go through this kind of phrase like nobody like, you got to go through the demolition, you have to go through destruction, etc. So those are exactly why you will see or continue seeing, at least for this periods of 12 years, or my good bet is about good another 5 or 6 years. But I have great hope in you all to go through information overload. Everybody want to talk, but at the end there will only be a few group of people get elected or selected or bring up to voice themselves, etc. But anyway, in this era, everybody's voice counts. So this may also be exactly why that you will see, app like Clubhouse become very popular, because everybody want to be heard. Everybody has something to say. So it doesn't matter it's Clubhouse. TikTok is the best platform, I would say. Everybody feel like they have something to share with others. Everybody feel they want to share their opinion or talk about something in their head, or to bring themselves out to the world and all that. So anyway, enough of awakening. So a lot of people will say, what is it? What does it taste like? Or, do we really need it? In reality is we do. Because now we're living in this cocoon now, believing the world is only about us. It's all about us. Eventually we start to realize, after we come out of this cocoon, we start to realize it's not just about us. It's about everybody else. It's about where and how I position myself is going to impact everything else, impact my community or impact this world or things like that. The mindset is going to shift a little bit. Of course, before you find where you are, you're going to feel confused, you're going to feel lost, you're going to try so many things and doubting yourself, which we all do. But the goal of this era is eventually you start to find out, what, I start to figure out who I am, what I am, and how I can contribute as me, individual, and also as a group, as a universe. So those are all exactly why you will see more and more people are awakened, or put it in the other word, more and more people are becoming psychic. So trust me, psychic is only gonna be a general sign, like, maybe eventually you turn around and realize everybody is psychic. So anyway, let me quickly reset the room. This room, you will hear me talking most of the time. I don't seem like I am sharing the microphone with anyone. As you guys all know, in Chinese I talk a lot. In English I can talk a lot as well. So this is my first experiment of English chat room. And the reason I want to share about this is, even though my friend complaining about me chit-chatting, never speak it in English, I can almost guarantee, even though I have been talking for a while, and even though I have it recorded, they will never watch it as well. So the problem is not I never share it in English. The problem is you never watch my broadcast either. So if you have watched my broadcast, whether I chit chat or not, I have done more than 500 episodes. I'm pretty sure include in every of my broadcast already. So, but anyway, I still want to give it a try just so I can prove them wrong. As you know, you all know me. I have my own arrogance as well. So anyway, now we get back to the topic. This topic, resetting the room, this topic is talking about awakening and then why everybody's awakened. It seems like you're the only one who's sleeping. No, you're not. You just don't know that you are awakened yet. It's like we are awakening the dream and then we don't know we are awakened. So basically that's what you are, okay? So now we're gonna talk about how do we prepare ourselves for it. Okay, when did it start? And where are we going with it? This is a common question I get asked through this whole era of awakening. Where did it start? It started from the pandemic time. It started from last year. Not exactly the beginning of last year, but the rough idea, sometime last year. Well, I would say past Chinese New Year. But then it would usually, an era would usually last about 12 years of time. So the reason it started last year because it started with all pandemic and people think that's not right. If we enter a new era, why are we experiencing this whole pandemic and all that? Have you realized pandemic brought up the worst fear in you? Like you are freaking out? Well, it must brought up some kind of fear in you. And then there's a good reason for it. It's like you living in the house and you believe this house is perfectly built, and then only later on you realize there's a mole in the wall or there's a leaking problem or there's something. So what happened is if we live in the old pattern, we would believe everything is fine. Everything is fine. So there's nothing to be fixed. Only when we decided we have a new idea of our future, we should add another room, we should add this, or we should remodel our bathroom, that we start digging out all the wall and peel out everything to realize, oh my God, there is some hidden problem. So what are we going through last year is what I call demolition, which is almost when a new era happened, it would always happen. Like you can look back in your history, it happened all the time. In all time, people call it revolution. So before people want to enter the new things, there's revolution. So for me, since I use the term of, real estate, I use it as demolitions. Things had to be crumbled down. Things had to be removed. So all the thing that you know or you believe is good for you is going to get demoed. So crumbling down. So what we experience, or what we all experience as a whole human kind, is we all got locked down, we stay at home, we deal with our fear, we come back and face what is essential, what is important to us. When we used to believe working is so important, we come back and facing our family, you know what I mean? And then, or spend some time to be with yourself, or got brought back and face the problem that you fear the most. Those are the sign and symptom that you will see most of the time last year. So, if you haven't, I don't know how you could possibly haven't experienced, well, unless you live in Taiwan. I mean, obviously your world never been changed. I mean, God bless you. But if you live everywhere else in the world, you must have a good taste of it, to be locked down and to really spend a lot of time self-reflecting, to go through that whole process of I'm so scared, I don't know, I'm feared to be hurt, or I'm so afraid of death, and I don't know what is gonna come next. All those kind of uncertainty is most likely exactly what you had to experience last year. So if you go through that whole years of pandemic, and then this New Year's, honestly, after you've gone through last year, everything else is great this year, okay? So, or not great, everything else is better. Yes, I understand many of you say, no, it's not much better because you're still using your old pattern and try to compare with the life before. But understand, we are building something new. We're not going to build something back to the way it was. I mean, maybe it was a great way of living for you, but what we are entering is an era is going to show you there's a better way. You know, you can probably still keep your structure together. You can probably still build it the way it was, but something had to be improved. So what I'm sharing with you is, since we're going through the whole demolition year, and many of you may say, I still haven't experienced that yet. And what I'm going to say is, you may have to experiencing it, if not last year, maybe this year, and maybe the next year. Every period that you're going through, everybody vary. You may experience somewhere between 1 year to 3 years of time. But mind you, this whole period of time is 12 years. So you are still on the right path. So don't always compare yourself to others. It's not worth it. You know, this is the year to bring you to be aware, to see who you are and what you can do in the future. So it's more important to focusing on yourself instead of what other people do. I mean, in all eras, that's what we do, because everybody's a machine and everybody is brought up as a machine. So everybody should be the same. But you will realize in the new era that no longer apply. It's individuality. Everybody seems alike, but have a different taste to it. So that is more what this era is all about. So at the beginning of time, you will see everybody will feel a little bit confused, and then I would say almost all of us will feel confused, all right? So, and then not know what to do. What I have done in the past, several decades seems to work for me, and now it seems to not work anymore. So those are feelings that you will most likely experience in this era, or at the beginning of the first 3 years, I would say. Last year is the first year, this is the second year. So anyway, for many of you will understand, for the second years, you will say, okay, if I understand this whole 12 years is gonna build me or prep me into this new generation or new era or the new world that we are entering, what it is I'm going to go through and how can I prepare myself for it. As I say, everybody please expect demolition. Something had to crumble, something had to not work, what you used to believe it works. Because those thing is kind of the way your higher self is telling you it's not gonna work. Honey, let's do it in your own path. Take your time. You have about 3 years, 4 years of time, and then slowly alter it, slowly changing it. Okay, the other way you will see in the old time that I can do it by myself. I got this, I got this. I like to handle all my own sorrow. I like to handle my own, self-pityness or my own frustration, my own anger, my own blah, blah, blah. You will realize it no longer works either. The reason of that is, as I mentioned earlier before, the new era of awareness is not only about individuality, it's also about connecting with everyone else as a whole. So, at the beginning of this whole new era, you will realize you will constantly corner to a situation that require you to reach out, require you to voice out what it is that's in your head, require you to step out of your comfort zone to basically ask for help. So those are also another reason why you will see all those communication app is going to start rising up. It will start give you a platform, it give you a safe home for you to be able to voice yourself or find comfort there or connect with other or change, opinion with one another. So those are all signs that you guys will see, from old time, which is the last era. A lot of people will stand up, speak for themselves, like, just one-man show, which I am doing here, just me talking. Eventually, I will have to enter a new era, allow voice to come in or even ask me questions, etc. So those are the things, since you know what's gonna happen. I mean, the best way to prepare ourselves is to know what is to come, right? So if you understand that is going to happen for sure, this is also the best time for you to really step out of your comfort zones, trying to voice yourself. You may not find your own vocabulary yet. You may not find your own you may not find your own voice yet, but it's going to be a good time to try, because everybody else is gonna be just like you. So anyway, so the best way to prepare yourself is, since I mentioned that earlier before you entering this new era, a lot of things gonna crumble. A lot of what you believe is true is going to be not true. What you used to believe it worked is no longer gonna work. So due to that pattern, you will start to realize a lot of fears is going to get brought up. So, hang in there, keep strong, moving on. I mean, what I'm saying is your deepest fear, which you used to brush it away, say it no matters, or it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I don't care about them. I don't care about this. You will start to realize all those fear will continue to get presented to you. And it's a way to let you reflect yourself. Have I really worked this task? Have I really worked this issue? Does it still bother me? Does it still make me feel uncomfortable? Does it still make me feel frustrated? All those kind of event or tasks is gonna continue to get brought up to you. Those are the things you will, instead of running away, which you guys all know is not an advice I will advise you, I will advise you to try to face it, deal with it. I understand by facing all your fears and facing all your frustration or deep down problem can be scary sometimes. It is to all of us, right? But what I also mentioned before is, since this is a new era where we have to connect with everybody else, where we have to learn to voice ourselves, speak up and speak out, understand your higher self will definitely plan a lot of resources around you. There will be a lot of people around you, whether you agree or not agree. They are there to help you. They may be people you know, or they may be a stranger like just passing by you and simply give you one-liner advice, and you're like, oh, I can so use that. I can so use that to my problem. Those are some kind of hint or clue that you can easily pick up on, and then you can try to apply on your life, or in this life, like nobody know what they're doing, right? So anyway, those are all kind of direction or kind of way that you guys, if you are interested or you would like to improve yourself or better yourself, and then you would like to know what it is that I can do, those are the direction you can consider. So it's so funny. I actually had the Clubhouse on, but I come in with the intention to do a talk table like I usually do in Chinese. So this particular episode is not going to be in Chinese, unfortunately, because we talk about it so many times in Chinese. But this one is basically, I am trying to talk by myself to prove you I can really talk forever if I want to go on and on and on and on, in Chinese or in English. By myself, I can just keep going. But now this episode just to prove to my friends, since they always complain that I never doing English, and this is to prove to them I can do it in English, but it's more important that you will never watch it. So try to slap on each other's face, basically. So anyway, yeah. So as many of you, unfortunately there won't be any Chinese. So that's why so far you only see me talking. It's only me. And it's like what we do, chit-chatting in Chinese. This one is in English. But yeah, it just, I got a lot of people. Living in North America is it's almost like a taboo, all right? It's almost like a taboo. People is afraid to talk about spiritual things. It's like once I go there and then I'm just gonna, got converted, or it's gonna be a cult. It's gonna brainwash my brain, or it's gonna do anything bad to me. Honestly, no. I mean, come on, you go to yoga talk about spiritual. They tell you to calm, find your core. I mean, come on. That is spiritual too, all right? So you've been polluted long ago. You just don't know you've been polluted. Or if you go into any room, you sense someone you like, you sense someone you don't like. Come on, that is some kind of psychic skill as well. I mean, I don't know why people like to differentiate themselves from me, or saying, that is a world we don't know. What I really want to share with you is, you do have it, you just don't know that you have it. It's like, you're gay, but you don't know you're gay, that kind of thing. But anyway, regardless, what I'm saying is, all of it has it. But we go from an era which nobody paid any attention to it. We're too busy to build an empire. We're too busy to build success. We're too busy to build our retirement plan that we never pay attention to it. So now you will see more people are interested to it. They want to find other meaning to it. They want to try other way to improve themselves. They may be very successful business person. They may be Wall Street investment. They may be real estate investment or things like that. But somehow, some way, they're all of a sudden interested in yoga or Pilates, or they like to do meditation, or they like to, pick up couple like human design or astrology or things like that. Those are all signs like the people are no longer interested to live their life with their logical mind controlling them and tell them what to do. They want something else. And then there's a reason why they want something else. Because while we humans, logical mind, believe we know everything and we are the highest being of all. Come on. You must have thought of that before. So since we believe we are the highest being of all, you must also heard this, we only use 10% of our brain living our life. I mean, honestly, I seriously believe it's only 1%. But since we are the highest being of all things, all existence, when we say that, do we take universe into consideration? I mean, I highly doubt it. But anyway, just bear with me. This is what I'm doing when I'm talking to myself in Chinese. All right, just bear with me. Earth is only a very small dust in the universe. So exactly what makes you believe you know it all? Exactly what makes you believe you know it all, right? So, since our mind is mostly driven by our logic, which is your left brain, and your left brain is telling you, you're successful, you're making so many $1 million, you presentable and whatever, is that enough? There must be some other meaning of life that deep down, like you are curious, or you really want to know, or you want to explore. So this is the era basically that we're entering. People's gonna have that sense back. They're gonna have deeper meaning of things. It cannot just be about money. It cannot just be about this. So eventually you will start to realize all those logical minds work, things that your brain can analyze, can do. Honestly, robot can do that as well. So you will start to see all the AI or the machine or things like that slowly replacing all the work that logical mind can analyze. And honestly, the robot and machine can probably do it better than you. Anyway, so why are all those things happening? Because we're entering the new era. You are supposed to be more awakened. You're supposed to be more aware. So you will start to using the skill or the knowledge or even the wisdom like your soul carry forward into this life. So what I'm saying is, why you are so satisfied with using only 10% of your brain, the majority of the living things, I don't even want to limit to the human. The majority of living things are no longer satisfied with it. They want something more. They want to be able to explore the other 90%, or I say 99% of the brain. And then just only imagine it. I mean, in the past 2 decades, there are a lot of people share with you about the law of attraction. They share with you about manifesting your life and things like that. And then they only open and explore a tiny bit or very little piece of the other part of their brain. Just imagine what it would be if you actually explore it all. Just imagine how much resource you will actually have when you actually open the other side of the brain, or just put your brain together in working. So anyway, those are the things you guys can really consider why we are entering a new era. Because to me, yes, too bad, so sad that we actually have to go through the demolition or revolution or etc. But in general, I am pretty excited of the world that we are entering and then the thing that we are seeing. So anyway, gosh. See, I tell you, even in English, I can talk forever. Even in English, I can talk forever. But, I would try to cut myself short. So for many of the Clubhouse who want to share with me, raise your hand. That's okay. I'm not done talking, but I'm open for give it a try. For many of you would like to share your personal opinion with me. You're more than welcome. But yeah, as I say, this one is just to show it to my friend, or at least I can refer it to them next time. Says who I never done it in English. I can chat forever in English as well. So anyway, as I mentioned before, this topic I can talk forever. And then since this just the beginning of the era, there are going to be a lot of things like continuous coming up. There will be a lot of fears, a lot of obstacles, especially those things like if you have noticed or you are aware you've been brushing it off for the past, decade or 2 decades. This is gonna be the years. So exciting, This is gonna be the years. We're gonna be continuously bashing with all the obstacle, all the fear, and all things. But what I'm really want to suggest to you guys is, do not worry. Please do not worry. Just understand we are all on the same boat. And then we will soon find out we are all on the same boat. And then we will be more willing to help one another and then to help each other over this obstacle. But it does have conditioning there. This is an era like your higher self want to help you to figure out who you are, what you are, and where you're going to go. So to figure out you is going to be the key word. Everything else is going to be there to help you. So if you understand that mindset, then you will know it would take me to change my life. It take me to do something to see the result. I no longer expect somebody else to fix me. I'm broken, you fix me, you help me, you make my life better, or you manifest my life. You will start to realize that no longer apply. It takes you to realize what you are, who you are, and what you can do with it. So, as much as the whole world is there ready to help you, you will realize you have to do the first move. Hi, Betty. You are being very supportive of me. Like you always come up English or Chinese, hey?
Yes. No, I just want to show you my support. I agree with every single thing that you're sharing. And to give you the validation that you can do it in English, in full English.
Thank you.
And also, I don't think you need to prove to anyone else. Remember, we talked about that a lot. Like we
no.
don't need to prove.
I'm not really proving to my anyone else. It was kind of a joke, right? I was just like, my friend always said, you never done it in English. Like you never chat. Like in her or their mind, they believe like I hit. Okay, they believe I give you guys like bonus when I'm chit chatting in Chinese. And even though I tell them no, everything I know, I pretty much share on all the episodes. right?
Yes.
Right, exactly, right? So it doesn't matter what I say. Every time I share something I know, I share about what I believe, they will say, you never talk about it in English. And I say, no, I'm pretty sure I talk about it in English because every broadcast I did it English and Chinese, right?
Yes.
So
I think it's just the universe asking you to share more. That's it.
Really?
Yeah. We want to hear more about it.
Oh my God, that's too much talking for me.
It's never enough.
Yeah. Betty, you've been in this field for a long time too, right? I mean, what's your sign of awakening? Have you experienced any symptom or sign like awakening to you?
I think it was like a slow progress instead of just one moment, aha, like I'm awakened. No, I think it was a gradual process. And then to one point, I look back and then I look at what I've been through or what I've been experiencing. And then I realized, hey, I think I have been awakened.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not like that moment I felt like, oh, I'm enlightened. No, I think for me individually, it was like a slow process.
Wow, that's because I know, I mean, I've been in several rooms with you. I realize that you have gone a long way. I mean, we all have, but you have gone a long way. So, for you, even though, as I mentioned earlier before, we are not exactly there yet, like we are not really using the 100% of our brain, but maybe we open 1% more or 2% more. Like where you are right now, do you notice how it better your life, or is it worth it? Is it worth it for you to go back?
It's definitely worth it. I feel like I live my life day to day with ease, and I know how to, how do I say it, incorporate what I know into the hardships that I face in life. Mm-hmm. And, before I probably will, beat myself down and then, dig a hole or like just, I don't know, all sorts of that. But now I know the tools to help people and help myself, which I'm super grateful of.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're all learning still. Like you said, Earth is just a tiny little dust in the universe, and we just opened up our senses. So I feel like there's a lot more out there. I don't think in my lifetime I can learn all.
No.
But I try my best.
Well, but it's more meaningful, don't you say? I mean, before we can be very successful or how other people perceive us successful, but you always have like shallow, empty feeling come with it. Like it doesn't matter how much money I make, it always feel it's not enough or something is missing. But when you become more awakened or more aware, right, you are not only reaching for success, you're trying to satisfy your soul at the same time. So when you're reaching to a milestone or something like that, you feel it's more meaningful.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like you said earlier, everyone has the ability to be awakened.
Yeah.
It's whether you are open to it or not, so don't live your life with skepticism. Don't live your life with judgment. Just open it up, and the universe will pay you back 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times more.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Yuming also has something to share with us. You're like, okay, Ruowen, I'm done hearing you talking.
Hello, Ruowen.
Hello.
Hey. Hi. No, I mean, I enjoy. I know your style, right?
Yeah.
Then you have a lot to offer. So, I mean, no matter Chinese or English, I just know that you're going to talk. And, I mean, and then I watch your videos on YouTube. And so what I like about it is really you encourage people to have personal growth and really not to just rely on any teacher or maybe any healer, but really teach people how to fish. I think that's your style, and that's something I really like and I appreciate.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So I just felt, well, I think your question is, I mean, like, are we there yet? I think for us, I think we will have moments that we felt like, okay, this like sparkle of enlightenment moments. I think everybody has that, right? Like aha moment. I think we all have that, but how long you can be on that stage, that's a practice.
Right.
Like every day, like no matter what tubes that you use. I know Batty is also very into, spirituality.
Yeah.
And again, right? And so I think what got me into spirituality is really the hardship in life. I mean, for me personally, that I felt like, when I go through hardships in life, and then I start to, because I have to find a meaning for those hardships, right? Otherwise, how can you just move forward? How can you get back up again?
Right.
And move forward? And I'm just thinking about those veterans, like they go through war, right? And then they come back with all those PTSDs, and I think a lot of people struggle with drugs and alcohols and split up with their families. And I'm just wondering, they've been sacrificed so much in war, and now they come back, they are broken.
Yeah.
So I think for those people, I know that they, a lot of them, they actually go to South America, right? They're trying to seek for help from shamans.
Yeah.
And I know, Raman, I saw a video of you talking about ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I know that you have some opinions about that.
Yeah.
But I know that you ask people to just try, right? To see if there's something that that will work for you.
Yeah.
The reason I talk about that is, I mean, for those veterans, they have to go through that journey.
Yeah.
With medicine to really, really finding faith in life again, right? Think about, they go through war, they go through death, right? And then what else can persuade them other than their own journey, right? Like not maybe years of psychotherapist, but I doubt that they could be that patient and trust someone for that long. So I think for people like that, they really need that awakening moment. They really just need that, like, from themselves. Not from me, if they come to me, I don't think they could trust me just like, for a few sessions, right? Maybe not even from you, from a psychic, telling them, right? But they really need to go through that themselves. So I think that's my, I'm echoing from your point of view that we do need that personal journey.
Yes, for sure.
To get to the awakening.
I
talk a lot too, sorry.
Well, no, it's fine. I totally, appreciate that. But, as I say, right, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, we don't learn from happiness. We learn from hardship. So, this is also why before you want to build something good, something great, expect hardship's going to come. If you have that kind of mindset, it can prep you better for whatever is to come. So, since... Well, I understand if I don't really learn anything. I mean, I enjoy happiness, but I'm not really learning anything from it. So if I got confronted something that is difficult or something that's hard, that may be a way of growing as well. That is the universe present me a way to let me grow. How can I grow from this? Right? So, get back to Yuming about the substance use. I mean, whether I agree or not agree, as I mentioned or shared with Lala, you in the video before, I do suggest you to try. But I also would suggest you to bring a mindset. All those substance will let you get a glimpse of you. Mind you, it's not the drug or anything that bring a wonderful world to you. Is the drug that help you open up some kind of channel to let you see this is a possible you. If you enjoy that moment, you enjoy that feeling that you have after you take the substance, I will encourage many of you to take the power back by believing that wonderful world is not given by either marijuana or ayahuasca or anything else, or even alcohol or anything else, but is hidden somewhere in me. So when you are not using those substances, I really highly encourage you to take some moment and think about if it is in me. That means whether I use substance or not, I have the power to make that happen. Now, how can I make that happen? Who can I talk to? Where can I reach out to that can assist me or help me? I mean, you heard millions of stories how the home street people had that aha moment. And then all of a sudden they make themselves into a millionaire or even billionaire to begin with. So, there's a lot of example in the world to show you it doesn't matter how bad your life circumstances is. It doesn't matter how terrible it seems. There's always have something that's hidden in you waiting for you to say, come get me. Now, how can you get yourself to that moment and say, I think I have ability to get you? I believe that is why all of us are slowly awakening. Betty, sorry, I didn't cut you off. You have something to say?
No. I was so enjoying to listening to what you have to say. I just want to piggyback on what Yumin said about, the hardships.
Yeah.
What I tell my, I wouldn't say clients, but people come to me for consulting.
Yeah.
When they face the hardship, look at it as a gift from above. Whether you believe in God, whether you believe in Guan Yin, whether you believe in nothing, see it as a gift wrapped up like a Christmas gift with ribbons and decorations on it. And it's a choice that you can make whether to go left or right or up or down or whichever direction. Because when you're in you're soaked in your own happiness, you don't tend to look up and you don't tend to think of what other directions you can go. But then when you face the hardship, look at it as a gift. All of the other ways are opened up for you and you actually have the chance to choose again. So that's what I told myself when I faced my hardship. That's what I told all of the people or friends that came to me when they're facing a hardship. I'm like, congratulations. Now you get a choice.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. When I was younger, I always, would roll my eyes. I complain to God, like, why me again? But I do notice my mindset changing. Every time I'm dealing with hardship or obstacle, I think, I guess, they think I'm strong enough to throw me another thing for me to learn. So that is kind of mindset I have nowadays. But I would say different from the mindset I had before, based on that whole Asian background, raising, we often told to please other people. Like if other people are happy, then this whole event is good enough, or we can close it up or something like that, right? Happy ending. I'm always seeking for happy ending. But then the definition of happy ending is when everybody else is happy, but me. Nowadays, when I'm dealing with hardship or something like that, I don't really care so much. I would do the best I can for the better outcome, but other people's happiness will never be my first priority. It's about, is this what my soul want me to do? Is it respectful enough? Is it the best outcome I can come up with? Or is it a better way I can improve myself? But I noticed I will always focusing on myself first to make sure when I die one day, I would be okay with everything I have done, everything I have said, or even the way I have behaved. So I start from my foundation. Yes, along the way I probably piss a lot of people, but I'm okay with it now.
Absolutely. And it's their lesson if they are pissed by you. It's their lesson to go through.
Well, quite easy then. I'm a lesson to a lot of people, obviously.
But it's a good lesson.
Oh, well, I don't know. I would not say they say the same, eh? Evening.
Well, no, it's just like if you don't have it, how can you offer to people?
Right.
I am struggle with that too. Like thinking about others and thinking about my priority. But as I'm getting older, I will call that enlightenment selfishness.
Yeah, I'm loving the words.
Well, I think it's not intentionally we're out there to hurt people. It's just when we're making the choices, we kind of tend to put ourselves first when it's a mutual, peaceful situation. It's not like, oh, I want to hurt you to fulfill my dreams or whatever. That's the different type of thing, right?
Yeah.
No, I notice it come later in the age, right? Later in the age, you come to this point, it's like, it doesn't matter how good you do. It doesn't matter what a great daughter you are, what a great in-law you are, what a great wife you are. You can never satisfy another person. Because if you satisfy this event, they will always got next thing to ask you. Or there will be a next thing, there will next circumstances. So at the end of the day, you can never make everybody happy. So I guess come later in age, you're thinking, since I cannot make anybody happy, at least I know how to make myself happy. So if two people are gonna get pissed at the end of this whole circumstances, at least if I'm focusing on making myself happy, one person will be happy.
I'm also thinking it might be, like the other person also need to learn, from, some of that, like maybe, we trying to keep them happy. It's not what they need, right?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. They won't learn from it.
No. And then most of the time, the way we try to please other people, the way we trying to make other people happy, we're not really try to listen to what they need. We try to project our pain in them and to satisfy that pain on other people. So at the end of the day, it's never really what they really need. It would be what we wish we've been treated, but yet we're giving it all to other people and we're reluctant to give it to ourselves. So those are type of things like, many of you can take into consideration, stop pleasing others. That's not a good word. Use it with moderation.
Everything's a balance.
Yeah, totally. But anyway, wow, gosh, it's almost 1 hour again. See proof we can really talk, but I'm just gonna wrap this room up in about 1 hour, and then just literally so I can shuffle it to my friends. Otherwise, next time they're gonna come to me and say your talk is too long, and I'm gonna say just like every other Chinese one I did. So Betty and Yuming, do you guys have any last word that you want to share with all our audience?
I think one thing I want to share to those of you that are listening that do not understand what awakening is, it's not that, all of a sudden you open up your third eye, you can see the other dimension. No, it's not that.
No.
You can just start with being aware of your emotions and try to coexist with your emotions. Try to coexist with your feelings on the inside and have a conversation. Say, hey, are you okay? Are you sad? What can I do for you? That's the very basic awakening. So you can start baby steps, right? Everything starts with baby steps.
For sure.
So just start with that. You don't have to go like, I can read tarot cards. I can do like bagua or whatever. No, it's a progress.
Mm-hmm.
So just start with recognizing what's within. And I think that's the most important step of all. If you don't, turn it into skill, that's fine too. Yeah. But if you can look within, that's the best awakening that you can ever find.
Well, that's great. Yuming, how about you though? Share some with them. I mean, you obviously feel awakening or you have that aha moment, right? I mean, does that make your life better? And then now where you are, do you have any words for people who are listening?
Well, I think you both summarized that pretty well. Mm-hmm. For me, it's that helps. I think the aha moment helped me to, see the things that I don't see in my not day-to-day life, and that helped me to again instill faith, and hope, and meanings in my life. And so I think those moments, it's really mean a lot to me. And it's hard to put it in words.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Again, I'm sure everybody experienced that.
Yeah.
And again, yes, those moments are important. And however, I think living in this body and face the day-to-day life and really be grounded, and that's also very important too. And not expecting that you get enlightenment next day.
Yeah.
I think that's not happening, unfortunately.
No.
I wish that happened to me.
Yeah.
But because I have faith in me,
yeah.
And I think that matters. So yeah, I think that's what I want to say.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you for coming up to the stage and share with us. Now it really feels like a talk table here. But anyway, thank you all for sharing your wonderful opinion and thought, and to many of us listening, join the talk with us. What we want to share with you all is we are all in the boat together. We are entering this new era together. Yes, it's normal you feel helpless, and it's normal you feel confused, not know what to do, or even feel scared. Just understand, because this is the beginning of era, so you naturally will feel those senses. So I would say, instead of trying to run away from it, which obviously didn't work, the better way to do is deal with it. If you need some resource, understand your higher spirits will always planting some resource around you for you to overcome it or deal with it. So, thank you all for joining me. My first try, but now at least I can send a link to my friend and say, listen to it, okay? So hopefully next time, I'm going to open some random room, and I don't know when, how, as I did it on the chit chat as well. But, I look forward to see you guys again next time. So bye now. Thank you.
Bye. 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 Bye.